Welcome to the second installment of my video developer diary for my current PC project, Magical Fairy Force Champion Edition. So, since the last video, I've gotten quite a few new things done, and I just wanted to show off a little bit of that. And I'm kind of hopping around here on the main menu, and the reason I'm doing that is because I've added an attract mode like the old arcade games used to have. By default, it kicks in after a minute of inactivity, but for the purposes of this video, I've set it to 5 or 10 seconds. So I suppose that's probably the first thing I will show off. So I'll stop moving here, and you'll see it kick in here in a couple seconds. So one thing I did was inspired by the console ports of Street Fighter 2, I put in these little character profiles before the demo. These are difficult to see right now because of the background. This is largely temporary. And then it kicks right into a demo. There's a 50% chance it'll do a 2-player demo versus a 4-player demo. And this is the computer playing right now. It's fighting against itself. The computer AI has gotten a little bit better since the last time I made a video. It's still pretty bad though. And I'll go ahead and cancel this. So it rolls through all the characters in the attract mode. So if I wait another few seconds, we'll get the next character in line. Yeah. And it's also worth mentioning that when it does go into the demo, player 1 is always the character who is just profiled. So here, I've got another 2-player demo. Let's get a 4-player one. I'd like to see that. Those are always fun to watch. 50-50 chance. Maybe we'll get one this time. There we go. One problem I have right now with the 4-player is that the 2 AI players on each side, they tend to stick together. The AI routines get stuck in the same rut. So I'm going to have to adjust that down the way. And here, by lucky chance, we've already seen the debut of the new pork chop artwork, which I was going to show off later. We'll see more of that. But anyway, so that little attract mode is in there. And what else do we have to show off? Well, if I pop here into arcade mode, I have this very crude programmer art map I've drawn up. And this is at the moment, this is the official world map. So this is going to be used, I'm planning to do future games in this setting and with these characters, and this is the map, at least as of right now. And if you look at the map, there's a whole bunch of red squares on it. Those are the different stage locations, and I've pretty much copied what Street Fighter 2 did, where each character had a country location on a world map, and you'd fly between those locations. So one of them is blinking. It's kind of a little left of center there, and that's this character's home area, sort of stage. They all have names, and they're not just randomly skewed around. There's actually storyline justification for all of these locations. And if you go through, you see they're all in different places. And in the long term, basically what a stage will be is just a background that you fly over. So each character will have its own little background that they cruise over. And here is the first of the redone character portraits. This is our rat-catching hero, Pork Chop. Oh, I love this artwork. He just looks so skeevy. And it goes so well with the dialogue I've been writing for the various arcade mode stuff. So I'm just... I laugh at this every time I see it. I just did it again. But something else I have added to the game, and I'll go ahead and start the game up, is a victory screen with a win quote. And I've written win quotes for all the characters because they are, of course, subject to change, but every character has a specific win quote for every character they defeat. And you'll be able to see that here in a moment. once I finish winning this fight, which I should be able to do pretty quickly here. Since the AI player is still stupid. It actually is trying to avoid that. I have coded that up. It's not very good at it yet, but it's trying. Okay, so now we have specific win quotes for each character matchup before advancing on to the next fight. So that's a thing. I'm planning to have some sort of animation on the map screen when going to the next fight. Like, I keep referring back to Street Fighter 2 where there was a little airplane that would fly you to the next country. And I'm going to have something along those lines on that map screen. I just haven't quite figured out what that's going to be. Something else I've set up, which I really like, is I've started working on the records mode. And this is, of course, this is all very primitive and subject to change. This is not what it will look like in the final version, but the idea is here. So right now I track two different things. I track character usage and win, draw, loss records for the versus mode. And if I go down here into character usage, you see it's categorized, and you can see who the most popular characters are. I was recently set a bunch of new pork chop graphics, so he's been getting a lot of testing lately, which is why he's #1 at the moment. But we have, for example, this is for the arcade mode. We have total usage count and then a percentage breakdown. And I can scroll down through the list, and we have placeholders for the 8 new characters that have not yet been designed. But they will show up eventually. And like I said, it's broken down by categories. This is arcade mode. Then we have the 2-player versus mode, where right now I have it rigged up for the second player is always Kitty, which is why he has 5 uses and half of the total usage. And then the 4-player versus mode. And then there's an overall ranking, where Pork Chop is still #1. The other thing I'm tracking are match records for the versus mode. Now there's no arcade win-loss tie tracking because it doesn't really seem like, it doesn't seem as much of a point to it. You're just fighting the computer. But these are the win, draw, loss records for the 2-player versus mode. And it is possible for the game to end in a draw. I haven't actually seen it happen yet. The draws that are on this list I artificially inserted just to make sure my win percentage math was working correctly. And it is. So here we have, again, this is win, draw, loss records for the 2-player versus mode with win percentage. So you can see who the winningest characters are. And then the same specifically for the 4-player version. And then the combined overall win-loss tie record thing. So, and again, the as yet to be introduced 8 new characters are on the list, just waiting to be filled in. So that's the record mode so far. I may add some more stuff to it later, not really sure. But the functionality is there, and it's doing its job. So, no complaints there. Now this is very experimental. I haven't really started putting together the gallery yet, but there are a few things I know I want to do with the gallery, and one of them is the character trailers. And there are plans right now, as characters are completed, that we're going to make short, maybe 30 to 40 second trailers for them and post them, you know, much like a lot of fighting games do. And I really wanted to include those trailers in the gallery. But in order to do that, I need to be able to play back video. So one of the things I've been working on lately is getting video playback working. And if you go to the gallery, I have a sample video I've put in here, which is just some guy doing a ski jump. It's like a, I don't know, 20-second video or something. And this video playback is working. I'm not recording audio here, although there is audio. This still needs a little bit of work. It's not 100% yet. This video in particular is very strange. It wasn't until I was well into this process that I realized that this was it's like a half frame rate PAL format video. It's running at 25 frames a second, which for a game that's running at 60 frames a second, that math doesn't work out very well. but I did manage to get it to play back. There are some audio issues. Right now I'm running this on my Linux machine. There are some audio issues on the other two platforms, Windows and Mac, that I still need to work out. I need to redesign the audio portion of the video streaming a little bit, but that's down the road. I also don't want to put too much effort into this until I find out what format the actual trailers are going to be in, since, like I said, this is just a weird video. And if I get a nice NTSC 60 or even 30 frames a second video, that should change things quite a bit. But I have basic video playback working. This is Og Theora, and it's like I said, the video portion's working on all three platforms. Audio needs a little magic still, but I'm very excited about this. And then once we get the gallery put together and start producing the character trailers, this ought to be really neat. Now the last thing that I've really got going on here is some improvements to the color edit. And I've been able to do a lot more work with this now that I've got at least what is close to being final art for a character. So here's Porkchop, and I've gone ahead and done the whole zone mapping for him. Now ignore zone 1's going to go away. That's kind of special. But you can see here I've got zones defined for the different areas you can play with on the colors. We've got skin tone, the goggles, his teeth. He's a sewer worker. I don't know, maybe he has bad teeth. We'll give him green teeth, I guess. Okay, so zone 5 is the top of his jumpsuit, and zone 6 is the bottom. And this is something I really wanted to do, is to break the image up in ways that allow you to do some customization, beyond what the default color palettes are. So the default color scheme, the jumpsuit is all one color, but if you want to, you can make it two different colors, since I separated the top and the bottom into different zones. And this sort of thing, I was kind of inspired a lot by the color edit mode in the King of Fighters 13, which did a lot of really neat things with this, where they took things that appeared to be solid sections of clothing or whatever and broke them up into different zones so you could customize them. The one example that comes to mind immediately was that Yuri had these leggings on, and you could, by default they were a solid blue color, but they were broken into sections where you could change some of them to skin tone, so it would look like she was wearing shorts or something like that. So here, if you want to, you can, rather than keeping the jumpsuit one color, you can split it up, have a top and a bottom of different colors. So here's, what I've been calling Captain America Porkchop, the red top, blue bottom, and the white belt. But there are a lot more creative things that we might do with the color zones. Like I said, this is still very much experimenting, work in progress. On a similar note, I've separated the two gloves, so you can do left and right glove in different colors. Now, at the moment, the color edit changes don't persist beyond this mode. I really can't push them forward into the game until we have this work done for every character. So that, unfortunately, I can't show that yet because it hasn't been done. And I'm going to add his in-flight character sprite to the screen as well, so you can see these changes occur on the sprite in real time. The sprite also has a few zones in it that are not present on the portrait, so I'll have to expand that a little bit and figure out exactly how that's going to work. But the color edit mode is looking really good. I'm really happy with this. One thing I do plan to do is I'm going to set up some sort of system for naming the zones. So instead of zone 6, zone 7, whatever, it'll actually say, jumpsuit top, jumpsuit bottom, belt buckle, whatever, so you know exactly what you're dealing with. But I haven't rigged that system up yet. So I think that's probably about where we'll end this video. So I just wanted to give an update and show off some of the things we have going on, and maybe most importantly, show off some of that Porkchop art. Matter of fact, you know what? there's another piece of pork chop art. It's going to show up here on this next demo. I'll show that off before we close the video. There we go. I absolutely love the way he's been designed. Oh, I can't wait to see what the other characters are going to look like, because I'm very, very happy with this. All right, so that's about where we stand right now, and so I'm still working on this very hard, and in a few more weeks I'll post another video with the progress. So keep in tune to this channel if you want to see more updates on this game, and thank you for watching.